But first, it's time for distinguished royal biographer and journalist and fan favourite Angela Levin. Well, the fallout caused by Omid Scobie's latest book, Endgame, shows no signs of slowing, with Meghan Markle's Hollywood talent agency, WME, it could also be technically called Why Me, I suppose, but anyway, reported to be horrified after two members of the monarchy were accused of making racial comments in a Dutch translation of the book. Now, in what could be seen as a coordinated charm offensive, the royals were also out in force yesterday. Prince William spent the morning flogging the big issue outside a West London Tesco. Princess Kate, of course, opened a new children's surgery, and the King hosted more than 500 guests for a diplomatic banquet at Buckingham Palace. Angela, well, the royals seem to be brushing off the controversy, don't they? But you have an inside scoop on Meghan's talent agency, who are far from happy.
Well, I don't mind them saying this. I mean, they said they were horrified. And that can't be just about the two names that have been mentioned, but it must be about their client, i.e. Meghan. And it seems to me that they will think very carefully what they do next. I've never really heard any really well-known agency be so clear about what they felt. They didn't mention the writer, they mentioned it in general. So I think Meghan needs to be very careful, because a lot of people have dropped her, and this agency who's actually said to her, stop moaning, you know, now you've got to be happy and positive because everyone's getting fed up with it. Let's start again. So she got very close up to Harry and dragged him along to all these dancing and singing and all that sort of stuff. But if he now feels he's got an even harder job to do to get her famous, and in terms of what she's doing, not just because she's married to Harry, it's going to be difficult.
So you think there's a chance that the talent agency might drop Meghan Markle?
Yes. Why on earth are they saying that? They'd keep quiet.
Well,
that's my feeling. Because it's going to be very, very difficult to get, you know, the sort of glamour that she wants and feels that she deserves.
I suppose she would make them a lot of money, though.
Well, yes, they can make lots of money, but the money is useful to her and Harry just because they can spend it and have lots of jewellery in all their bedrooms and bathrooms. But I think actually she's somebody who needs to be adored all the time by the public.
Well, look, talking of Meghan, it's time to talk about her other half now, isn't it? The runaway royal Prince Harry. He's once again taking up the High Court's precious time, this week challenging a 2020 Home Office decision that removed his automatic entitlement to armed police. By the way, I don't blame him for taking on the Home Office, because everybody who takes on the Home Office at the minute seems to win, don't they? But his lawyers argue that he was treated less favourably when the decision was originally made. Look, Angela, he chose to leave the royal family and skulk off to the States. Why should taxpayers foot the bill for his police protection?
Yes, I followed the previous court case that he was in, and it's very interesting because this time they've missed out a few very important things. Last time, the whole point of it is that he wants top-notch policemen who have guns and know exactly what the intelligence is for him 24/7 wherever he goes in the world. He wants one for Meghan and one for each of his children, and that will cost us a huge amount of money, massive. So what he can do, he offered to pay for it, but they wouldn't let him pay for policemen. He can pay for very good protection officers who don't have guns and don't know absolutely the most up-to-date stuff. But he's come back. That's why they said no, he couldn't. But he's come back to try and get that again. And his lawyer said, you know, it doesn't matter where he is in the world. It's the principle that he's the king's son and he should have it. Well, there we have it again. They want it all paid for, all around the world for him. Does that
not carry some weight? I mean, the argument that he didn't choose what he was born into, no matter what he does going forward, he will always be our king's son.
Yes, But if he does anything to do with the royal family, if there is an event, if he comes over here, he has absolutely the protection that he wants. They do that. But if he's over here and he's making nasty comments about the royal family and he's visiting friends and he's doing all sorts of things that have nothing to do with the royal family...
There's a question, Angela, as well. There is a serious question as to what extent he's brought an element of risk on himself.
Yes,
writing things about the Taliban and saying how many people he's killed...
25 Taliban in spare.
Yeah, putting a kind of pseudo-fatwa on your own head is not really doing yourself any favours when it comes to needing protection. But can I just finish our royal roundup with some more positive royal news?
Yes.
Right? Because last night's diplomatic reception, the King and Queen welcomed ambassadors from all over the world, with Queen Camilla paying a touching tribute to her late mother-in-law by wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Northern Ireland tiara. Means something to you, I'm assuming, Angela. Doesn't mean much to me. But there's long thought of to be a favourite of Queen Elizabeth. Now, Angela, how do you feel Camilla is performing in her role as Queen so far? What was the symbolism of the outfits? They look like a united front.
Yes, I think she's wonderful for King Charles. They know each other so well that he can trust her. It's very hard when you're a monarch to trust anybody because the things leak. We've got lots of examples of that. She makes him laugh. She's really helping him handle his feelings about Harry, and she does an awful lot of charity that he's not least bit interested in, like domestic violence and all that sort of thing. But he has his own space. She doesn't want to be in the spotlight, so she's there for him. It was just like Prince Philip. She wants to be there and always helping him. And I think he's a different man, and he's working hard, and he seems much more popular, and he's smiling a lot now. And I think she's a terrific
Yeah, it
Queen.
just seemed a world away from when there was Pengate, doesn't it, right at the start there, when he was going through an immeasurable amount of grief and an unimaginable amount of stress and pressure and all of that, and he was obviously very frustrated and lost his temper a little bit, as everyone's inclined to do from time to time, myself included.
Very stressful.
Plenty of people will testify.
Stressful.
Yes, indeed. Well, look, Angela, thank you very, very much.